Welcome, my gorgeous souls. And I was going to say, welcome to this is not a podcast. Welcome to our pick a card reading. Um, we'll say for July, but really, it's whenever it finds you will be your right timing. And it's really pick a reading. We are going to do three different readings. Um, what you want to do is just try to go within and decide whether you want reading one, reading two, or reading three. Uno, dos, tres. Um, Sometimes more than one reading will resonate. I have to tell you, what I usually find almost always is by the time we're done with the third reading, it's like it's also told us one big story. So just keep your mind open. That's what I say. I read through my spirit guides who connect to your guides. So you don't have to do a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Okay, let me just put it this way. I feel like you guys would say just let it be and let it flow. We are not even going to put a title like, is it going to be about love? Well, chances are love is going to come up. Is it going to be about money? Chances are money's going to come up. So it's really life readings. But I did let's see, we have one, two, three. So I did two psychic tarots, two tarot of dreams, two universal tarots, one clarifying love situation, and one romance angel for each reading. So just go ahead and calm your mind. Choose one, two, or three. There is no wrong. Just know that there is no wrong. Sometimes you can close your eyes and you'll see a number in your mind's eye. But again, there is no wrong. All right. So let's go ahead and open up this reading. So I'm going to put three and two right there. And we will start with one. I am going to use the crystal vision to clarify if needed. A lot of times it doesn't need it, but if needed, we'll go ahead and use it. So if you're ready, I'm ready. I actually love doing pick a card readings, and one of the main reasons is because I feel like, well, I feel like we can reach a lot of people with this type of reading. It's not one of my most popular readings, but that doesn't stop me. If I feel called to it, then I feel called to it. So, but I love it because I feel like you're getting three readings in one. So, all right. I'm just going to go ahead and calm my mind down. And let's begin. By the way, I don't look at these cards. If they come face up, I don't take them. I only take usually I take what comes face up in a regular reading, but in a pick a card, I don't want to know it's here. I want to find out when you find out. So, we're starting with material and spiritual prosperity. That is victory and success. That is the Six of Wands. How beautiful. This person's like looking over their compound and with a sense of pride, but humbled at the same time. The Six of Wands really speaks about how you got to where you are and other people really looking up to you. Often you'll find in this type of energy, sometimes just out of the blue, people will come to you for advice. You know, you're a spiritual soul. All right. We have, passion ignited. This is the Ace of Wands. So, looks like your heart chakra is being activated here. But listen, if nothing else, I shouldn't even say if nothing else, because I love the Ace of Wands next to spiritual and material prosperity. This could certainly represent new ideas for you also. This is oh, Uranus just moved into Jupiter, into Gemini, and I am going to do a podcast on that, because, or a video, the 7-7 portal. But a lot of times it can bring twin flames, like their connection, together, or stronger than ever. But anyways, your heart chakra is being activated for a reason. All right, let's keep going. Well, hello, Ten of Pentacles. Wow. Okay, so this reading seems to want to talk about your money. This is the house of abundance. This is not a one-time thing. And I often don't feel you're alone in this energy. But could be you and your family. But look at that. It's like you are receiving ideas and epiphanies that, if you decide to put them into use, I feel like you are going to be sitting pretty as it relates to your money, your career, new avenues. Like, I feel like this is saying this is a time to take those signs that you're feeling, the signs that you're receiving, the things that have been on the back burner, and bring them to the front burner, baby, because like it is paying off handsomely. All right, we have beautiful, the Nine of Wands. It's interesting. I just did a podcast and it was for you. It was a simple thank you. I shouldn't say simple thank you. It was a big thank you to you. Um, but it was also talking about, like, I remember back when I first started my channel on YouTube, and I used to get certain very difficult cards all the time. Well, now we very seldom see them, and I know why. It's because of your own growth. And this is a representation of that. This is someone who, I call this person my spirit warrior, because number one, they're daring enough to really look back at least the last chapter in their life, but they're looking back at the ways that they have grown, the things that they've overcome. It's not about judging oneself like, oh, what was I thinking? It might have been something karmic. You never know. But this really is, you come out stronger than you ever been with this energy. I love this energy. And we are in a final 9-year cycle. This is the ninth year. So this would be the perfect energy for that. We're in the year of the hermit, but putting the two together, it's like, wow. So, I feel like you know what you want to do. And if you don't, you're about to find out. It could be something spiritual that you've never even thought about. Again, chakras being activated, um, passion ignited, action oriented. All right, well, let's keep going. Oh my gosh. Hello. I mean, what is going on here? Hello, money. The Ace of Pentacles. So the Ace of Pentacles comes in like a seed, but it doesn't mean it's coming into your physical world. It's tangible. And your nurturing of this seed is really what's going to guarantee you that it throws off seeds, other seeds. Now, I already know you have the ability to do that because we already have the House of Abundance. How interesting, we have two aces connected, though. This may just be the beginning. Some of you are really trusting in yourselves now. And that is making a world of difference. All right. Oh my gosh, the Seven of Pentacles. It's like you're doing something that your soul has always wanted to do. This is your tree of life. And I feel like everything that's connected to your tree of life was meant to happen. It taught you something. It's mirroring that Nine of Wands. My spirit warrior, you. So, Seven of Pentacles has a couple messages. The first message is patience, but it's sitting right next to this seed, and it literally talks about the nurturing of the seed, like giving it the space, the time, the love, and the nurturing it needs so it can be all that it can be. But boy, does this feel like a soul's calling. All right. Clarifying love situations. I put these in because they don't always speak about love. So, what do we have here? Beloved wisdom. Love is a choice you make every day. So choose wisely. Love is a choice you make every day. Choose wisely. And then, well, so the romance angels, worth waiting for. Divine timing as a is in, okay, let me reread that. Divine timing is at work in your love life. Well, I feel like who's ever here, you have been busy. Listen, you may have been in the planning stages, and this may be saying, okay, now it's time for action. Without pressure though, because again, I feel like your chakras are going to be activated. Like it's like the Empress needs to be out here. Who receives epiphanies and then puts them to use. But she is very patient. Like she doesn't, if she gets an epiphany, but it doesn't feel like the right time, well, she waits. She knows when the perfect time will be. Interesting, I'm talking about the Empress and I'm looking at a nine and think about the Empress who carries a child for what, 9 months. This is what we want. Full development. So, your money house is on fire. And I feel like the majority of you here, you've been concentrating on your career or again, making plans to bring something to fruition. And I feel like love is also part of the picture. But this, I mean, come on. Like, this is something we don't want to miss. This is you being able to take care of you, no doubt. Financially, like, you can stand on your own 2 feet and listen, you may not feel that yet, but I am telling you, like, I love that you have the Ace of Wands and then the Ace of Pentacles. So the ideas, the epiphanies, passion ignited, and then the Ace of Pentacles literally means coming into your physical world, moving into the Seven of Pentacles. It's always meant to be. It is a soul's request. It's like your soul is asking you, let us do this. Let us have this adventure. All right, let's bring in the crystal vision. I mean, holy abundance. So listen, it may be starting at the aces. And, some of you may be like, well, I don't have that ace yet. Then we may have to go back to that Nine of Wands. I think this is an important year to really look back. Because this is what this year is all about. And it is about the final reflection because we're moving into the year of the magician in 2026, and that's going to be powerful. I feel like a lot of people are having spiritual awakenings, becoming much more spiritual. Um, and doing, like, I see a lot more spiritual type businesses, which I think is perfect. I think it's exactly what the world needs right now. All right, so I'm not going to take a lot, but let's just go right down the middle. By the way, these will be time stamped. Let's just go right down the middle. So, it's like Divine is saying, you don't have to worry about love. We've got that covered. You do your thing because you're good at it. Look at that, the magician, the manifester. And we were literally just talking about the magician. And because we're taking it across the middle, it's touching this Nine of Wands, that final reflection. But again, look at how much I've grown. Look at the things I have overcome. It gives you courage, is what it does. And it's like, if a challenge comes before you after the fact, baby, I got it. Where before I may have ran and hid, now I got it, baby. Okay. Magician is a reminder also that you already possess all the tools that you need to be successful. And these tools are the accumulation of your experiences and the things that you've overcome and how you've overcome them. That's one of the things I was talking about in the podcast that I did for you guys, is just the growth that I've seen within you all. All right, we have the Queen of Cups, who is holding a cup. Is she holding a cup? Well, normally she's holding a cup, not here, but normally she's holding a cup. And then, interesting, the Hangman. So, this is what I feel. And I feel this intuitively. I could look at the cards all day long and read them by what the meanings are, but I go by what my spirit guides are putting within me. So, I feel like in this reading, it was important to your soul to create something. Now, it doesn't have to mean you're creating your own business, but I have a feeling a lot of you are. And you may be doing things, like how I started a podcast. Well, if you would have asked me 5 years ago if I was going to do a podcast, I'd probably would have been like, what the hell's a podcast? But I finally did it, and now I love it. So that's what I feel here. Like, there may be some ideas and epiphanies that you may not have thought of before, but this may be the right time for them. And I feel like the Hangman is simply, it's nothing to worry about. It is a pause in the action as it relates to love, because I feel like your soul wanted to create in this time period, like now. Because this Ace of Pentacles, again, is coming into your physical world, but first, your passion's going to be ignited. So, for those who are looking for love, like, or hoping love is in this reading, I would tell you love is very much in this reading, and in the best way possible, right? Knowing the divine is working on it, which means I can just relax and keep doing my thing. And I feel like love will just find its way. When you see divine wants you to hand over the things that you cannot control. Why worry about things you cannot control? But I feel like this is a simple message of we're taking care of love for you. This, what you're building right now is something your soul really, so what you're doing is you're giving your soul the lead right now. Okay. I think I'm going to let that be. Wow. So, holy abundance. Holy abundance. Okay. Reading one. I feel like you're going to be rich. Probably rich in many different ways, but I just feel, did I just, all right. Ooh, I'm not going to take that, but I'll tell you what I just saw the Knight of Cups. I thought, did I just put the cards back on top? But I didn't. All right. Reading number two. Just readjusting my chair. Okay. Recognition and reward. Look how humble this person is. Spotlight is right on him. It's like someone is recognizing your effort. Really everything. It's like I can't even pin it down to one thing. We have balance. This is justice. Card of Libra. I don't think I gave any signs in the other reading, but honestly, I don't really, I'll give you the sign, but then I really don't read it that way. We have the Six of Pentacles, that fine art of give and take, compassion, empathy. The lesson often within the Six of Pentacles is learning who I'm giving to and am I giving them a hand up or a hand out? You know what I mean? Like those that I help. And I'm saying that because it's next to justice, which is calling for balance, right? Here you have this recognition and reward, but justice coming right in between the Six of Pentacles and the Three. Now we have the Four of Pentacles. It's your foundation. We have interesting, the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups talks about discontentment and boredom in one's physical, emotional life. Here comes a cup. She's not even expecting it. She's so focused on what was, what didn't work out. She's not even expecting this. She doesn't even see it. She will. Divine will make sure she does. But right now, this is where her discontentment and boredom lies, within her emotional world. Hello, Ace of Cups. Wow. How quickly was that call answered? Immediately. All right, clarifying love situation. Shadowed waters. Beware illusions that skim the surface, for true understanding lies in the deep. And then, release your ex. Well, we do have justice here. Cutting of ties. And justice is calling for something. Because when justice shows up, number one is looking for balance. And That sword of justice is a gift that we are given as souls to use whenever we seem, whenever it's necessary. I feel like this is talking about, well, I was going to say someone, probably of the past, but maybe that's not exactly what I wanted. Yet, it's asking you to release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. When you use that sword of justice, and that can mean energetic ties you're cutting or physical ties, I feel like immediately you find balance. And it's interesting because you have two cards that speak about potential balance or unbalance, justice and the Six of Pentacles. Then we have 44 down here. But how interesting that, okay, so I use that sword. I cut those ties. Maybe I don't have the emotional fulfillment that I'm hoping for. Remember, sometimes we need to think about where we're focusing on also. Because I just get, well, I mean, it says release your ex. I was just going to say, I get a feeling this is not talking about at least the last person. And this cup is coming from the hand of divine. And I feel like divine has one request. Gotta release your ex. Why? Because it's messing up your energy. It's interfering in your energy. And the time has come to clear your energy. I think the best thing you can ask yourself here is, am I giving someone my energy who just is taking advantage of it? Do I give them handouts and then they just take advantage of it? I mean, I feel like whoever this ex is, you already know that. Of course, sometimes we want things to work out, but what if there's something else? I mean, look at this. Here comes this cup from divine. And then the cup literally comes in. And I feel like though it's a big one, the only request, again, is to release the ex, both through justice and through the romance angels. But I have a feeling things weren't quite fair anyway. I have a feeling you gave and gave. Beware of the illusions that skim the surface. So, someone may have given you surface love. There's different levels of love. And I spoke about that in the podcast. For those who've been, with the channel for a while, that's one of the things that we're learning. Like, as we raise our own vibration, naturally, those with lower vibrations, the universe tries to allow to fade away. And spiritually, we also want it to fade away, but our humanness is what pulls it back in again. And I'm not judging. There's no judgment over that. Your spirit team's not judging. I feel like they're just showing you. You know what else is interesting? In the Six of Pentacles, even in the Three, I often feel that there's someone admiring you, but they don't tell you that, or they haven't told you that yet. They may be telling you that soon. It reminds me of whose reading did I do? I think it was Aries, where I said there was going to be a declaration of love. This is kind of what this is feeling like. I feel like there is an ex who maybe wasn't very compassionate and empathetic. maybe is very different than you. But I feel like who is coming through this Ace of Cups is someone who is compassionate and empathetic and carries that in their heart, cares about the underdog, cares about you, your feelings. And remember, when you use that sword of justice, boom, it's like balance. The time has come, to release your ex, which I guess sounds a little sucky. However, don't take your eyes off this ace. All right, let's go right in the middle. King of Cups. Interesting, we got the Queen of Cups in the first reading. Now we have the King of Cups. And he is holding a cup in his hand. There's a cup. Can be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. But to me, the King of Cups is someone, when they're matured, they love being in love. They love having a special partner by their side. I have a feeling that's why we're seeing these 2 4s. They feel steady. And he is holding that cup. King of Swords. Different strokes for different folks. Hello, Knight of Pentacles. Hello, Guardian Angel. This is fantastic. Why? Number one, it's coming over the Ace of Cups and the Six of Pentacles. I feel like the first thing I want to say is I feel like some of you have some good karma that's accumulated. And this may be the time where you're cashing some of it in. Knight of Pentacles, has a couple different messages. Number one is patience. Second one is a reminder that I come at the right time, not before, not after. I come at the time when I know that what I bring you, which I feel like is not only the Ace of Pentacles, but it's showing now the Ace of Cups with this Knight. I come when I know that you can take this ace and grow it. It wouldn't make sense. Well, I have a feeling because he's looking over at release your ex, almost like this Knight is saying it wouldn't make sense for me to bring in this one when you're still with this one. Maybe one of these, maybe the King of Swords is the one we're using the sword on, and the King of Cups is who's coming in. Male or female, by the way. All right, well, hello, Temperance, divine timing. Beautiful. Card of Sagittarius. And then the Seven of Wands, stand your ground. Interesting. That's a strange place for it to come out. So Temperance, another message of patience. That is her first message. But it's also trusting in divine timing. Just like the other reading, divine timing is at work in your love life. But that's what Temperance is all about, right? Divine timing. So is the Knight of Pentacles. I come at the right time. I bring you this Ace of Cups when I know maybe that you've used that sword. Because I just feel this type of love wouldn't serve you if you were still connected to another. And if you are, because it's saying release your ex, and clear your energy, it can't really be serving you that well. Even if I see what's mirroring it, shadowed waters. All right, I just want to see why the Seven of Wands is here. All of a sudden I feel like some of you, okay, I'm going to say this in a way where it doesn't hurt your feelings. But what I'm feeling is that if I don't clear the energy of the past, and I really mean it, it's important that we do that. Like if I was with someone who cheated in my last relationship, and I get it, I've been there. It's you, it's hard not to then bring it into the next relationship. Some may say there won't be a next one, but there will be. So, this may be what some of the patience has been about also, giving you the opportunity to clear that energy. And I feel like that's what the Seven of Wands is. All right, but I'm still going to take a card over it. Um, all of a sudden I get this feeling some of you might be going through a divorce and it may not be easy. Worth it, yes. Easy, probably not. Because I'm feeling for some of you, stand your ground is also about in a court of law. But then I also, one of the things I've learned through my spiritual growth is I really have no attachment to material things. So if I leave somewhere, I'm fine with leaving everything behind because I know that I will recoup it in some way. I don't know why I'm saying that, but well, hello, Nine of Cups. I feel like you just cleared your ex. You just released your ex. This is inner harmony, but it's also fulfillment of wishes. And in the Four of Cups, she really is wishing for this cup, but there's a lot of uncertainty. Look at that. The Nine of Swords with the Nine of Cups. Okay, they can't be together. So let's see. We have the Wheel, and then we have the Five of Wands. Okay, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So let's just say our last relationship didn't work out for whatever the reason. And if you feel in your heart, in your truth of truths, that it probably will not work out, even if you go back together, and try your hardest to let it go. Because I feel like you're either going to be in the Nine of Cups, inner harmony, and then wishes can start coming in, or the Nine of Swords, which is worry. But the meaning of that card is unnecessary worry. That means energy is still has not been cleared. And then we get the Wheel, your destiny, coming right under Temperance. And then the Five of Wands, ego, fighting. But I feel like that has more to do with the Seven of Wands. But I feel like we can take that Nine of Swords, put it right with that. Like, if I don't let this go, if I don't release my ex's energy, I'm not going to say your life's going to be terrible, but I don't feel, it's not often that I say, like, one energy needs to be cleared before another one enters. But I do get the feeling here that it is important because I feel like the Knight of Pentacles is like, I'm not going to come in until, and that's just the way it is. That sounds mean. I don't mean it that way. And your guardian angel certainly doesn't mean it that way, but it is the truth. And what if the next person, which we're already seeing, right? Here comes this cup in the Four of Cups, and it literally shows up. And your guardian angel is the one who's ushering it in. And what if it is destined to be? And add that with the Nine of Cups, inner harmony, but then fulfillment of your wishes. I feel like I'm either going to be in this energy or this energy. It's almost like, oftentimes I feel like the wheel keeps on spinning, spinning, spinning into the future. But sometimes I feel like we can put a little wedge in there. And I feel like the X is the wedge. I hope you're seeing beyond the hardship that's in here and really the beauty of your potential future. What I would say here is because we still have the X's energy, well, okay, what I really want to say is I feel like there's someone who will love you, show you they love you, like doesn't run away, makes it your commitment to you and with you, and there's not worry. Like, I feel like this is the type of person where I don't have to worry about them. Like, if they leave the house, I know my ex-husband, I was only married once, but when he left the house, sometimes I didn't see him again for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? And I did not raise my vibration after I left him. And then I ended up with a very abusive person for 5 years until I finally saved myself. But then everything changed. Everything got better. But I had to make that initial. I so I feel like the choice is yours. But I know one thing: the Knight of Pentacles doesn't come in unless the timing is right. And he's looking right over release your ex. Some of you is just energetic. You may still be carrying some of the anger or what have you. Well, I feel like down the road, you probably won't be looking back at that person. You'll be loving, and they'll probably be miserable because whoever they're going to be with next, they'll probably treat the same way. This is not about lower vibrational love. So we need to think about our own vibration. And I feel like this is what it's giving you the opportunity to do. Think about your vibration. Think about what you're hanging on to, what you can let go of. And I know some are going to be like, I don't want love. That reminds me of the first reading. And that's fine. Doesn't mean it won't come in. But you don't have to say yes. But look who's ushering in this Ace of Cups. Temperance, divine timing. Both of them are talking about the right time. The only thing I keep getting pulled back to is release your ex and justice. And one more thing. I love this King of Cups coming over recognition and reward, because in that energy, it is about celebrating your individuality. It's an energy where you don't need a facade. You don't need to wear a mask. You're being celebrated for exactly who you are. And I feel like it's this king, amongst others, but also this king, where all the aggression we had earlier, I don't feel like you got that. So just keep that in mind. But I'm going to let this one be. Okay. A little bit of a mixed bag, but I mean, it's showing us the beauty, but it's also calling for human action at the same time. But listen, Divine would never call for action that you weren't able to give. So just know that. All right. Number 3, let me grab a drink real quick. Those are number 2, by the way. I just did a current love feelings, but actually the thumbnail, I put no contact love. I don't know. I think that's what I called it. Um, I don't think it's that long. I can't remember. It probably is, but I don't think it's that long. And the only reason I'm bringing it up is you may relate to it. You certainly may relate to it. Also, the past life reading. I have to say, like when I did that past life reading, I I know a lot of you were in there. I felt you. I felt your energy. Okay. But anyways, number 3, authority. Dun, 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 dun. This is the emperor, the father figure. He's reminding me of Archangel Michael right now, like your protector. Like, don't even try to get you. You're going to get to her. You got to get through me first. I feel like someone is protecting you. Could be a father. Hello, fulfillment of wishes, the 9 of Cups. By the way, the Emperor can also stand for business ownership. The Emperor is definitely a leader of the people, whether I do that for a living or just naturally, people may naturally seek you out for advice. But I have a feeling for some of you, this is great energy if, you want to be a leader in any way, if you want to start a business in any way, and the fulfillment that it brings you. Okay, let's keep going. Well, hello, Empress. Hello, creative one. And how do you love the Emperor mirroring the Empress with the 9 of Cups in between them? My power couple. Like-minded. Both empathetic, compassion, leaders. They both want to help their fellow man and woman. They're both very powerful, but not in a in your face type of way. It's their energy. Wow. I'm wondering if this is connecting them together. Well, let's keep going. Oh my gosh, the Ace of Pentacles. So, coming into your physical world, A lot of muscles going on right here. We have the Three of Wands. Three of Wands is the energy of optimism. You know, like Mother Mary's card, optimism. I expect good things to happen, and they do. I expect good things to happen, and they do. This is someone who is living in the present moment, just like the Emperor and the Empress. Both of them live in the present moment. But this is also knowing that your ships, your gifts will come in their divine timing. And this is just knowing that. This is someone who's like, I know that, and I'm just going to enjoy my life, right? And whatever comes, we'll deal with it then. But coming under fulfillment of wishes, and then actually the Ace of Pentacles shows. So I feel like there's a wish that is manifesting. The Hermit. So we're in the year of the Hermit. Coming at the under the Empress. Wow. Spiritual. Master teacher. The illuminator. The mother figure. We had the mother and the father figure. A wise old soul. Also card of Virgo, by the way. But it really does represent, at one time, you probably went through, we'll just call it the dark night of the soul. It just means something that, sometimes we don't know how we're going to overcome it or get through it, but then we do. I feel like sometimes in the Hermit's energy, what brings us to the Hermit's energy is our knees. Like we're brought down to our knees and we start seeking the light. And what we figure out as we're in that energy is I am the light. I am the light. I can save myself. Looking right back at the Three of Wands, we have resilient roots. Endure the storms, protect your core, and grow stronger with each challenge. And then we have heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. Well, if this has anything to do about love, y'all know what I'm going to say. There's no one I'd want to see more than the Emperor and the Empress. And why is that? Because I feel like the Emperor and the Empress both are living in their spiritual energy on this earthly plane. They learned how to merge them both perfectly. But there's a wish that's right in between them. And then this Ace of Pentacles is going to be what ushers that wish in. Are they wishing for each other? We have a singular energy right between them, but another 9 down here. So each one of them could have become single, but neither one of them are the type of energy that's going to hang on to the past. The Empress would be like, I tried, I tried, I tried. I'm not going to lower my vibration to be with you. If you want to be with me, then you must raise your vibration. Same with the Emperor. They're both empathetic and compassionate and want to help people, but they know now who to help and who not to help. Neither one of them need any type of barriers in front of them. They trust their intuition. Boy, it kind of feels like these two are coming together. Let's bring in the crystal vision. I mean, what a way to end this reading with the Emperor and the Empress, the Mother and the Father. Fulfillment of wishes, inner harmony, spiritual clarity, Ace of Pentacles, coming into your physical world, heart to heart conversations. We have the Two of Pentacles. Okay, so I feel like the Ace comes in. Someone's making a decision. Maybe they both are. Two Pentacles, holy crap. They call it the Juggler's card. And that could very well be the case. You know, I may have a lot going on. As the Emperor and the Empress, they usually do have a lot going on separately. And I do kind of feel they're separate at this moment. At this moment. But I feel like the Three of Wands is what's going to actually bring them together. So the Two Pentacles, again, it can be the Juggler's card, like, okay, can I fit love in? I'm pretty busy. Or I like to think it is more of like using one's logical mind. You know, is this person's vibration similar to mine? Or is it a lower vibration? Well, I've learned that lesson. So I don't want to repeat that. And, you know, here's the thing. I don't feel like anybody would have a chance with the Empress if they carry low vibrational energy. I don't feel like they would have a chance. And I feel the same thing about the Emperor. Okay, let's keep going. We have the Chariot, card of Cancer. That speaks of unlimited potential. You know, the Chariot, it's interesting, is the balance of the feminine and the masculine. Masculine, feminine. It's the balance of the light and dark. And then it's unlimited potential. We have the Tower, the Six of Pentacles, which fits very nicely with both the Emperor and the Empress, the King of Wands, and then the Star. Your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. Well, the Nine of Cups, fulfillment of wishes, the Star, it is your wishes. You know, it's interesting that I brought up that past life reading because this tower in the middle here, it does not feel like a tower. Like, I don't feel the energy of a tower at all. Not between these two. Not in this lifetime. And I have a feeling that's why I brought up that past life reading. I have a feeling these two, you, were in that reading. You know, that's why I do certain readings like I'll do a twin flame, past life, certain readings around the same time because I feel like they complement each other. Wow. You know, there doesn't seem to be anything to worry about here. I feel like it's just simply do I want to now add love in? But I feel like this is your perfect partner. This is of a higher vibrational energy. And if you are living in a higher vibrational energy, you know, don't shoot for perfection. That's the one thing. Like, don't shoot for perfection. None of us are perfect. But don't think that your dreams cannot become your reality. You know, that's my life. I mean, yes, I've been in that dark night of the soul more than once, trust me. But just how Sam and I came together was kind of like a miracle, completely unexpected. And I have to say, it took us 5 years, well, it took me 5 years before I actually moved in with him, which I lived in a different state. And I know many of you know the story. Um, but it's like I needed to get over a lot of things. And I was afraid I wasn't ready. And some of the worries I had, kind of like the Nine of Swords, was unnecessary. And trust me, it was. Now, yeah, I mean, when I look back at the things I was worried about, it's like I laugh at it now, but not in a judgmental way. Um, I don't know. I just feel like this is of a past life. I feel like this is the right time. I feel like through these conversations, and it's interesting because Sam and I spoke on the phone for 5 years before we came back into physical contact. And I would not give up those 5 years because there was a lot of romance, but there was fights. There was hanging up with the phone. There was breaking up and then making up again. You know what I mean? Like we worked out our issues, because we both had very similar lives and we both have dealt with very difficult people in love. So we both, and we are twin flames. So we were holding up that mirror and that was hard. But let me tell you, so worth it. I'm not saying everything's perfect because we're human, but I think what I'm trying to say is you just never know what's going to happen. And this is about your wishes being fulfilled. And I feel like the energy it's asking you to take on is optimism, is maybe even saying it. I expect good things to happen, and they do. And that Ace of Pentacles, that means it's coming into your physical world. It's not just a dream. It may have started as a dream. This is now coming into your physical world. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? No wonder I feel past lives, especially with the Emperor and the Empress. So I'll leave that up to you whether you want to watch that, but I have a feeling this group, you're in that reading. All right, I'm gonna let that be, guys. As always, I thank you. I made you a short little podcast just to tell you how much I love you. And I really spoke about like how I've noticed your growth and my own growth through the years. Like the difference of cards that we get. I notice all those things. Um, but I feel like my guides definitely, because last night I was just writing and writing like everything I wanted to tell you, and then it got to be too much. Um, but I do have so much gratitude for all of you. So I'm going to let that be. I thank you all. Again, if all three fit, then all three fit. It almost feels like an evolution. So who knows? But I thank you guys. I love you. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye. By the way, thank you for sharing the videos. That really helps a lot. And thank you for watching the ads. I'm putting an ad before and after the reading, and the only time I put ads in the reading is if they're over an hour. But this one, I probably won't do that. Um, So I thank you. And YouTube says don't say that to your people, that don't tell your people to watch the ads. That makes no sense to me. I'm sure the ad people wouldn't agree with that, but anyway. So thank you. I love you. I will see you next time at our table. Bye bye.